Now, they call it the cradle of India's naval leadership. It is the largest in Asia and also it is India's pride. And WION's Sidharth MP reports from the Indian Naval Academy, which not only trains the Indian cadets but also foreign ones as well. Take a look.
Mountains all around, beach on one side, backwaters on another. Connected by undulating plains, scenic beauty like nowhere else. You might think it's some popular getaway, except it is not.
Join us on WION World is One as we are at Asia's largest naval academy. We're here to exclusively bring you a special report on how the Indian Navy trains young 17-year-olds who are barely out of school and molds them and sculpts them in 4 years to become future leaders of India's Navy. This is through a 4-year grueling training program.
Located on India's west coast in Kerala's Ezimala, the Indian Naval Academy is situated by a historic site. It was by referencing this hill, known as the Dili Hill, that European explorer Vasco da Gama headed south and arrived in Calicut, Kerala. He is said to be the first European explorer to have reached India by sea. It is a sprawling campus that spans over 2,500 acres. Lush greenery all around, dotted with some giant masses of concrete and vast open fields and sports facilities. So, what's all this for? To effect a transformation like no other and prepare them for the most challenging and adventurous life. They walk in as young men and women and step out as officers of the Indian Navy, depending on the course they pick. They train for 6 months or a year or even 4 years. So how do they do it?
It took me almost 40 days to learn swimming here. There were classes scheduled every day or even twice a day. We learned here, there were the professional coaches who taught us different styles. Breaststroke was the main style which I learned. Slowly I started swimming in 5 feet, 6 feet. Later we did diving as well. I took the jump from 5-meter board. It was a thrilling experience, and finally when I cleared the swimming test, I felt like I've achieved something.
The total focus is on survivability. Every cadet is trained in such a manner that we can survive in the toughest of the situation, under the toughest of the circumstances. Here we learn about being up for 4 days without sleep and being constantly aware of our surroundings.
It all begins with water. Some cadets can swim, some can float, but all they have is 6 months. They've got to stop sinking, start floating, and eventually swimming, and even diving.
Swimming is the basic activity that every naval officer has to master, irrespective of whether they're man or a woman. So basically here, they have to start from people who just know how to float and also start to swim up to 50 meters. And from 50 meters, they have to eventually start swimming up to 1.5 kilometers by the end of their term. They have to also learn how to dive, and this extreme proficiency comes with up to 6 months or even 4 years of practice. The end goal is that these naval officers have to swim up to 1.5 kilometers wearing their uniform so that they can prepare for the worst possible scenarios at sea while even training for the very best.
Once a cadet knows how to survive in water, they also need to defend themselves from their adversaries, and from that, they need to hone their marksman skills.
We are at what is known as the Arjun Baffle range, or the shooting range at the INA. This is a place where there are targets placed for 6 shooters. All of them can be in parallel, and they can use their light machine guns or assault rifles to fire at the targets just behind us. So at this particular place, it's all completely computerized, and after taking X number of hits, the targets actually fall down, and then there are new targets that emerge. So this is actually called a baffled wall, primarily because of the reason that this is a special concrete that can absorb the bullets rather than, take the impact and ricochet the bullets.
Meanwhile, the institution also offers an overall development to the cadets of the Indian Naval Academy.
In addition to the physical regimen and the exacting routine that the cadets at the INA have to undergo, there is also added emphasis on how much they'll have to read, how much they'll have to write, in order to ensure that these are not just physically fit officers, but also extremely mentally tough and intellectually sharp officers who are going to be the future of the Indian Navy, and they can also serve in strategic roles to plan ahead for the Indian Navy.
With Sidharth MP at the Indian Naval Academy, Azimala, Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.